Hey guys, I'm Rodin. Welcome to WaterBaby Tarot presented by Bomispirit Incorporated. I hope you guys are doing really good today. So I'm doing the weekend astrology and tarot reading for the collective. I wanted to post this yesterday, but this week, things happen. We got a lot going on this weekend that's actually kind of exciting. So let's just dive into the astrology portion of this. Keep in mind, I like to talk about astrology just because some people are really interested in it. I'm really interested in it. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun. But if you're only here for the tarot card reading, someone's gonna timestamp it below. So go ahead and check that out if you just want the tarot reading. Okay. So let's get started. So it's going to be from the 25th of June to the 27th of June. For those of you who've been with me for a while, you guys know that I do kind of talk about long-term aspects, but I don't like to go into detail about them every single video because it will get monotonous if you're watching these like every day, right? So there are a few aspects I'm not going to talk about in detail. Saturn square Uranus, I'm not going to talk about that too much. Neptune sextile Pluto, not going to talk about that too much. And the Sun trine Jupiter, I'm not going to talk about too much. Sun trine Jupiter, I talked a lot about that. I talked a lot about that the last few videos, so go ahead and look at those if you want to know a lot more about that. The first two long-term aspects that I listed, I talked very heavily about on the 21st. June 21st, that video, so go ahead and check that out. And I'm going to go over these again in detail on the 28th video. That should be posted Sunday. If you're like United States area, that should post on Sunday for you. Yeah, so you could wait till the 28th or you could go ahead and watch the 21st. But those are long-term aspects that are with us for a long, long time. The Sun being trine Jupiter, that is actually leaving. It's starting to dissipate. It's starting to get weaker to the point where I would consider it negligible. So yeah, so there are those. Now, the other aspects I want to really start to get into that are really interesting for the weekend, we have Venus opposing Pluto. That's also kind of been with us. I'll tell you why it gets interesting. We also have Mars opposing Saturn. That has started to get strong enough to actually pay attention to, and that's actually going to continue to intensify throughout next week. That's a gnarly one. So let's look into these two a little bit. So first of all, Venus opposing Pluto. Pluto's in Capricorn and it's retrograding. Venus is in Cancer. That Cancer, Capricorn, push-pull energy in regarding the planets of Venus and Pluto is really putting pressure on us to just give in. It's putting pressure on us to surrender to things that we would rather forget because Pluto's digging shit up. Digging stuff up, like, hey, pay attention to this. You can't just bury this. You can't just pretend like it didn't happen. Trying to get us to accept the things we would rather forget. It's also an aspect that applies pressure to get us to surrender to really balanced, healthy, nurturing relationships. So on the individual level, if you have trouble receiving, there's going to be a lot more pressure for you to just accept to receive and learn to receive. If you have trouble nurturing and giving, there's going to be a lot of pressure applied to you in your life through various circumstances that are trying to teach you and get you to give and to nurture, right? And this is about finding that balance within the self as well. Even when it comes to your relationship with yourself, if you don't nurture yourself enough, that's also going to be highlighted. If you do it too much to yourself and you're almost detached from people around you, or very cold or closed off or rigid with people around you, that's going to be highlighted, right? There's also going to be this push-pull of what's important in relationships between the practical or the emotional. So that's also going to be highlighted with this aspect. Again, we've been experiencing this, but it's still here, it's still present, it's still fairly strong. It is getting weaker though as we go into next week. Now, what's cool is that the moon is actually going to be aiding this aspect this weekend because the moon is in Capricorn. By the way, I hope everybody had a really great full moon Capricorn. It was interesting, to say the least. The moon is it's in Capricorn and it's moving into Aquarius by the end of the weekend. At some point during this weekend, regardless of where you are on the planet, whatever time zone you're in, don't get caught up on when this exact moment is happening for you because it's energy and we feel energy that's coming in and then we experience it and then we experience it leaving. So don't get caught up on when exactly this is happening for you in the grand scheme of the timeline. But there will be a point in time this weekend for everybody where the moon will be exact conjunct with Pluto and will be opposing Venus at that same time. And what would we just talk about? Venus opposing Pluto. Yeah, very interesting. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later as we talk about more about the moon. But let's move on to the next aspect. So then we have Mars opposing. I keep saying opposing. Are things imploding? I don't know. Mars is in Leo at 9 degrees and it's opposing Saturn in Aquarius at 12 degrees, and Saturn is retrograding. This is, like I said, starting to get strong in like midpoint of the weekend. Like Friday, Thursday, we're not feeling it too much. And then we're going to start to feel it in the weekend, and it's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as we move into next week and finish out the week. This is an interesting aspect. This actually creates like volatile, violent energy. It creates more of a breeding ground for fights and conflict. Don't get scared yet. It's for a good reason. It also will intensify feelings of repression, which can boil over, right? Or if you've been feeling repressed, that's going to intensify. Or all of a sudden you'll start to feel repressed about something and you're not really sure why. It's just that, again, breeding ground for that kind of energy. This is also an aspect that helps to motivate us to challenge other people on behalf of our own beliefs, or if we like, and it's that Leo Aqua energy, right? So if we see someone who it's like they're challenging our own belief system, that's like one part of this aspect. But also if we see someone who's acting very selfish or doing something that goes against the greater group or the greater good, or that sense of like, hey, do you not give a shit about other people, right? So we see someone who's lacking that balance of taking care of themselves while also considering the greater good or considering the larger group, we're gonna have more of like a urge to say something, or more of an urge to challenge that particular person or those particular people. I expect this to also play out on the global stage too. Like as we finish out the week, we might see a lot more stuff come up on social media, people doing crazy shit, or just feeling the need to speak on things a lot more. So I expect to see that. I also expect to see it in the comments. It just is what it is. It's funny how like when we know something's happening astrologically, like I can see it come through, and like how people are commenting, it's very funny. Anyway, so with this aspect, there's that continued push-pull as well of like selfishness or selflessness, and the balance between the two. Yeah, and the balance between the two. Again, individually and also as a group, right, as a whole. Now, the moon is also going to be amplifying this aspect as well during the weekend, because the moon will move from Capricorn to Aquarius, right? Saturn is in Aquarius. So at some point this weekend as well, most likely Sunday for a lot of us, the moon will become exact conjunct Saturn. Yeah, moon and Saturn working together. And of course, that's going to be opposing Mars. So pretty much very, very similar behavior as far as like, not behavior, very similar dynamic of the moon in relation to these planets, in the way that we talked about with Venus opposing Pluto. Now, again, it's just going to intensify those feelings, but what's cool about the moon is that it is about emotional satisfaction, right? It's also about clarity as well of your own emotions when there's really positive aspects going on. So while the moon, as it's working with Venus and Pluto in the beginning of the weekend, is really getting us this climactic point of being able to accept the things we'd rather forget, or being able to have an easier time finding satisfaction and finding balance between giving to others and giving to ourselves, and balancing the practical while balancing the emotional, balancing masculine, feminine, really, if you really want to look at it that way. Then as the moon moves into Aquarius, then we kind of shift gears a little bit in finding satisfaction in balancing our own passions and desires with how that can help other people. Right, so it's like we're moving from this like less of it, and also the moon this weekend is highlighting the last 6 months for us. The last week has really been about that, especially this full moon in a Capricorn, and then we have the full moon in Aquarius. We're really gonna feel that too. So think of summer as this midpoint in the year, where the last 6 months we've had this pressure and challenge and struggle and difficulty with feeling oppressed, or feeling like people were really pushing our boundaries, or people were really taking away our personal freedom, or facing our own issues of disempowerment, or facing our own issues of being independent or having to show up for people, or even codependency for some of us are still struggling with that, right? All of that stuff, and feeling restricted by government and rules or expectations of society and the thing I'm supposed to do and blah, 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 right? That's been the last 6 months. Now for summer, it's like from June through July, and maybe even a little bit up, leading up to Lionsgate, actually. I really feel like it's going to lead up to Lionsgate. We're in this reflective midpoint of where it's like, oh, it suddenly makes sense. Things finally start to click. Things finally start to make sense. There's a calm, there's almost like a breath of fresh air with this, where it's like, okay, I see why I struggled the last 6 months. I'm growing from it. I'm evolving from it. I'm accepting it. I'm finding a new wusa. I'm finding a new balance with all of this, even if it shifted your own belief systems as well. Taking that time to get it, just to get it, right? And having that clarity. And then things are going to get a little, after summer, when we go into like fall, you know, when Saturn starts to like go direct and that sort of energy, we're leading up to that point. Especially with Jupiter, because Jupiter is going to shift into Aquarius again when it's retrograding, and then it's going to go direct, and then we're going to hit back into Pisces. So it's going to feel a little bit like an echo of what happened this first 6 months at the end of the year. I'm going to say that again. We experienced this 6 months. It was hard, the struggle, blah, blah, blah. We're in that breath of wusa, the breath of balance, the breath of kind of finding our balance again, finding our footing again. Things are starting to make sense. We've learned some lessons from the last 6 months. We've grown. We get it. We're more balanced with ourselves. We're more accepting of some things with other people and ourselves. We're also finding a way to compromise with people in a way that doesn't compromise our own belief systems or our own truth. It feels good. It's going to feel good. And then we're going to go into fall, where suddenly we're going to feel like we're repeating the last 6 months a little bit, or there's going to be some stuff brought up that highlights something that happened in the first 6 months for us, right? So that's also just a little tidbit of what's happening for the rest of the year. But talking about this moment in time for this weekend, the moon is part of that process this weekend, really highlighting this as far as like the emotional satisfaction of it, that emotional satisfaction of it all makes sense now. I'm getting it. I feel better. I feel less pressure. I feel like I can breathe again. I feel like I can compromise and work with people, but I don't have to compromise my belief systems. It feels really, really good. And you are going to be challenging people. Don't get me wrong. Like Mars opposing Saturn with Leo and Aquarius, there's going to be some rebellious shit going on, right? But it doesn't have to be innately negative. It doesn't have to be extreme. I feel like all of this is just going to be in the name of standing up for your own belief systems, because you have a lot more confidence in being able to do that. And being able to do that without trashing somebody or taking someone down a peg, and really taking the higher road here, okay? Yeah, so very interesting. I don't know if I'm going to list all of the moon aspects for the weekend, because it's a lot. It's like 6 going on this weekend. And depending on how much space I've got over here, I may do it, I may not. But that's all you really need to know for the weekend, and what's coming up for the week and for the rest of the year, okay? All right. Let me take a little sippy sip, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the cards. I have to say, I'm very happy with how I made this protein shake, because I didn't want to buy a protein powder. I was like, I don't want to do that. So I was just like finagling and just trying to like experiment and play. All this Leo energy, by the way, Venus is moving into Leo the end of this weekend. And we'll meet up with Mars and Leo. Ooh, I just got excited by that. The little Gemini in me just got excited. When Venus goes exact conjunct with Mars, that has to happen next week. I feel like it's gonna happen Thursday. I gotta double check, but maybe like Thursday, Wednesday? No, well, maybe. Sometime next week, Venus will be exact conjunct Mars in Leo. That's gonna be a powerhouse of creative energy, man. Like, that's gonna feel so, so good. And as far as people who are in like the Twin Flame Collective and all of that, as you guys know, I don't really talk about that stuff anymore. Important time for that community. I'll say it that way. Okay, cards. Let's do it. Now I'm done rambling. All right. What deck are we gonna start with? I just have this really feel-good energy right now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm feeling like blissed out energy. It feels really nice. I like, a part of me wants to do Energy Oracle, but I'm like, I'm a little hesitant for some reason. Something's pulling me there, but I don't know. It doesn't like feel 100%. God, I wish I had my Big Bertha deck. I wish I had my Big Bertha deck, but that's fine. All right, we'll do it. We'll do Energy Oracle. for those of you who are wondering what this deck is. I have all the decks linked below, by the way, if you want any of these for yourselves. I need to update them. I'm getting around to it. My life is a little crazy. Any messages for the collective, please? Keep in mind, this reading is general. I do channel a lot of messages for a lot of people, so stay around and keep that in mind. There could be something in this reading for you. This reading doesn't have to pertain to the time period I did the astrology, because time is not linear. It is fluid. I actually already get the feeling I'm gonna do 2 spreads. Yeah, they said yes. They went, yes, you will. Okay, I'll be doing 2 spreads. Any messages for the collective, please? Any messages for the collective? Any messages for the collective? We have Angel of Love. That's awesome. I like that. And that's kind of what I was feeling. I'm feeling this blissed out energy here coming out of my heart space. I'm actually feeling it's, some of you might be working more with your higher heart energy, your higher heart chakra, for those of you who follow those, follow that system, the 12th chakra system. This feels really good. I'm just really liking it. And I feel like there is this surrender, this acceptance. Some of you are really, really harnessing the energy for your own highest good. I'll say it that way. And it just feels really nice. Some of you, it could be romance. I'm saying that because it's like, that's so not the point. I don't want to go on a whole spiel, soapboxy like spiel here. It's not the point. If it's about a romantic relationship, it's about you. It's not about anyone else. It's just about you. There's a lot of gratitude here. There's a lot of inner peace going on here. It just feels awesome. It's almost like you're falling in love with your life. Some of you are falling in love with yourself. That's awesome. And if it is about a romantic relationship, that's all good. That's all dandy. You know, more love, right? It's always a good thing. But that's not the point. I really need to say that. It's not the point. The point is you're in a good place. You're in a good place. Wow, you're really in a good place. 7th chakra system. 7th chakra. Archangel Uriel, 41 breaking down to a 5. We've got a 4 and a 5 here numerologically. That's progression into change and transformation. Yeah, this feels like a really awesome shift that you guys have stepped into. I've been reading you guys pretty much every day now for a bit, like a couple weeks, maybe almost 3 weeks, and it's been rough. It's been rough. Look at you heading into flow, doing it effortlessly, seemingly. Anyway, this is really being connected with yourself, really being connected to everything around you, really being connected to spirit, or whatever word you want to use for spirit. You know, they're just all labels, right? It doesn't even matter. But yeah, this feels really great. Some of you are maybe even stepping into a whole new level of like an ascension or your own spirituality. I definitely feel that going on for a group of you. Yeah, ascension, like ascension, elevation, upgrades. Some of you are definitely going through that. Again, you're higher. I'm feeling so much higher heart energy, a lot of like pink, and a lot of pink with that, a lot of magenta too, crown energy. But it just feels really good. It just feels really awesome. You're blissed out, you're aligned, you're connected with yourself, you're in a good place. And if you're not there yet, you will be. You have the potential to be. Potential. Everything's potential, right? Every reading you ever see is potential of energy. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but you have the potential to make it happen. Oh. I feel like we're going backwards in time. Oh, we're going backwards in time. Wow. Now we have woman holding a heart in reverse and action in reverse. So again, I feel like a lot of you are already here. I feel like some of you are on your way to here. I also feel like you're getting a lot of divine assistance and like guidance as well. You might be seeing a lot of synchronicities, a lot, or getting a lot of random shit come up in your, thank you, in your environment. I'm actually getting lights. Something about lights. You might actually be seeing little like speckles of light. Your eyes are fine. I'm not a doctor. Sorry, I have to also say that. Disclaimer, I am not a medical doctor. as you guys already know. So please do not take my medical advice as a diagnosis. I'm just a channeler. So yeah. Yeah, white lights. Little white lights is what I was getting. Yeah, there's just a lot of spirit around you trying to get you to this point, trying to help you with this point, trying to make sure you have a lot of support. Angelic support, divine support. You're going to there from here with woman holding a heart in reverse and action in reverse. It's just like a major heart blockage, man. It's like a major like emotional blockage that's like kind of paralyzing you, keeping you delayed, keeping you from actually doing what feels really good or what would make you really happy. So as long as you work through that, you're going to be fine. Overall, we do have journey in reverse. Yeah, see, door to value. Yeah, heart blockage, man. Fourth chakra in reverse. And then we have victory. So you're going to be fine. You're always going to be fine. I always want to say that. You're always going to be fine. So you got some emotional blockages here. You've got some really cool opportunities. You have a really cool door opening for you that is really just about being in this energy. It's really just about being in that energy. And you can totally get to that energy. You totally can. You totally can. Journey in reverse is about like you've been on a path and there could be a shift happening that's like, you know, a little bit of a detour, or something has actually been canceled or is about to be canceled. It's basically a warning sign of like, yo, something's up on your path here. Sorry. Oh, I need water. Like something's affecting the path you're walking now. Something's affecting it. Bad or good doesn't matter. An effect is an effect. Something's affecting it. You have an opportunity here, but it's like you're not getting it or you're not seeing it, and it's because there's some emotional blockages going on here. Heart chakra closed, heart chakra closed, heart chakra closed, heart chakra closed, but you can totally be victorious here. All these cards are saying is that you have total control and power over your life and the path that you are walking and the experiences you will have. It is completely up to you. You just have an emotional blockage. That's all. We all have it. We all see it. We all got it. We all go through it. And you have the opportunity to be an amazing energy. They keep bringing up the lights. They keep bringing that up. Don't dismiss those lights. Please don't dismiss those lights. Also, please pay attention to your dreams. Please pay attention to your dreams. There's so much Piscean energy going on right now. And then especially when the moon is in Aquarius, Piscean's a neighbor, because Aqua is also galactic stuff as well. There might be a lot happening at night in your dreams that can really help you, or maybe you might be processing something in the astral. So pay attention to that, because I feel a lot of close, like divine spiritual energy around you. Okay, but let's see what's holding me up. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Light Seers Tarot. This is quickly becoming my favorite deck, like tarot deck anyway. I also have another new deck that I haven't brought out yet because I'm like, ooh, do I wait for Halloween? I don't know if I can wait for Halloween. I don't know if I can wait for Halloween. We'll see. You'll see what I mean when I bring that out. Talking about woman holding a heart in reverse. They're also showing me like lighting a little white candle. That's what they're showing me. Some of you use this a lot in your practice, but you've like become lackadaisical about it. Come back to that. I feel like there's been either like a lack, what's the right way to explain this? There's been a lack of prioritization when it comes to honoring spirit or just honoring your own spirituality. Also honoring your own power is a big part of that too, but taking the time to do so hasn't really been prioritized, or again just like lackadaisical. I get it, we all go through that. Sorry, saying goodbye to somebody. We all go through that, but how do I explain this? I don't know why I feel discouragement. That's actually what I'm feeling. I'm feeling discouragement from doing so, or frustration with it. So maybe some of you have been a little frustrated with spirit or your own spirituality here, but like, oh, thank you. surrenders, the issue of surrenders coming in here. There's almost like a difficulty in surrendering to your frustrations and the feelings behind your frustrations. So it's almost like if you went and you did those things, like if you went and like lit your white candle and did whatever you do with it, if you feel need to say affirmations with it, or you just meditate with it, or you pray, or you invite spirits in, whatever you do, because that's how they were showing it to me. There's a vulnerability that happens there, and there is a sitting within yourself that happens with that process. And for some reason, I'm feeling difficulty of sitting in yourself or sitting in your emotions. And I think there's hesitancy because I think subconsciously, I don't think you're like fully aware of it, but I think subconsciously it's like you're going to feel a lot. And there might be some purging or pain that comes up to be released, but I can feel that like resistance and hesitancy to go there for some of you. But anyway, important to prioritize those things. Talking about woman holding a heart in reverse. Talking about woman holding a heart in reverse. Let's see what we have here. Knight of Wands. Okay. Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands. Is this your energy? I feel like this is just representing a energy. Whether it's something that you have embodied or it's someone around you has embodied this, I feel like it's just energy. I feel like this is energy you've been resistant to or you're closed off to. This is like a free energy. This is like wild child, impulsive. I'm going to follow my passion and I'm going to feel confident and comfortable to do so. I'm feeling a restriction there. Like you can't step into it, or you're having trouble letting go enough to be free enough. Yeah. Letting go enough to be free enough to do this. It's funny because this is Sag and the action card has horses. Yeah, it's almost like you can't surrender to Sag-like energy. Horses might be coming up for you as a symbol as well because there's like horses everywhere in this. But yeah, that sense of freedom, that sense of wild, passionate fire within yourself, there's a difficulty in getting, like, I can feel it. It's like you can't let go and surrender into it. Now, if anyone around you has this energy, you might be very triggered by them. Just saying. So if this is like, so if you have a friend or a lover or family members or coworkers who have that kind of energy, you have probably been very triggered by them recently or are currently or will be in upcoming events. But that's what I'm getting, that because you're struggling with it, you're getting triggered by that energy when you're being faced with it in your environment. Just total freedom. You can't let yourself be free for some reason, and it's because of some emotional heart stuff going on as to why you can't be free for yourself. Talking about woman holding a heart in reverse. Aquarian energy and Leo energy can also really help with that. I like to think of Sag as like actually, if you think about it, like Sagittarius is probably the equivalent of like a very chill and relaxed Leo Aqua combo. Just not fixed, right? Ooh, yeah, see, 4 swords. It's like, this is like waiting in the wings. It's like that energy, you totally have it. You're just not letting yourself give into it. You're just not letting yourself connect to it. You're not letting yourself relax into it. It's like this energy for you, however it resides in your body and your energy, has been repressed or ignored, or you're afraid of it. Maybe some of you are afraid of your own power and just being free. But that 4 of swords is recovery. It's like that part of you needs to recover. That part of you needs to recover, and it's also connected to your heart space or your emotions. And like I said, for those of you where you've been triggered by people who have that energy around you, maybe it's a straight up Sag you've been dealing with, there's been some sense of distance and disconnect from people like that because you've been so triggered by them. Because again, you're not connected to that energy within yourself. But you want to be. But you want to be. I feel like this is hard for you to admit. I'm also getting that. Hard for you to admit this, hard for you to face this. Talking about woman holding a heart in reverse. Talking about woman holding a heart in reverse. Yeah, free yourself. Please free yourself. Live free and wild and passionately and just have fun. Like, you know, life is about fun too. Wow. We have Queen of Cups in reverse and King of Pentacles. Yeah, things have been very serious is what I'm getting. There's a seriousness here that you've had for a while. Maybe maybe COVID put you into it. Maybe life has just been too serious and too hard for so long that you don't know how to have fun anymore, or you don't know how to be free anymore. It's like, I hope this doesn't offend anybody. It's almost like a gypsy energy, right? It's like the person that just kind of walks out, does what feels right in the moment, dances when there's no music. Oh, you know what? Let's light a fire. Let's just kind of sit and chill. Let's just have fun. You know what? I want to do this. I want to create this. It's like living free unapologetically. You haven't been able to sit in this. But again, recovery is a big part of that. When you do work through this emotional stuff, whatever's been kind of gunking up your heart space or your emotions, you will be that free wild child again. Or finally. Some of you, it's finally. Some of you have never been that. And that's also okay if it's not part of your personality, but it's that kind of living free energy, right? And again, if you have been very triggered by people around you who have been like that, there might actually be a coming together with them. You might be able to engage with them without being triggered anymore because you've embraced that within yourself. You might even be very judgmental about people like that too. Like, they're not responsible. I feel like some guys might actually have said that to people before, or thought that about people. Now, the Queen of Cups in reverse with the King of Pentacles, I do feel this seriousness and ignoring your emotions. I definitely feel that. Or flat out just like, there are things to do, there are things to take care of, this is what needs to happen, this is what needs to happen. Like, you've had that mentality for a while or in recent past, and the emotional part of you has been neglected. Some of you have been in too much masculine energy versus your feminine, right? Sitting back into that receiving, just nurturing, chill mode. So yeah, I feel like that's all I'm getting with this, is that imbalance of focusing way too much on the practical here. Now, of course, this could have been the flip side, right? And this actually goes back to the astrology that I talked about with Venus opposing Pluto, really highlighting if we haven't been giving enough to others to start giving, or if we have been doing the opposite to balance that shit out, right? Also, that balance of the emotional versus the practical. It's time to pay attention to your heart. Pay attention to your heart, pay attention to your desires, pay attention to that feeling of wanting to live free. And again, if you've been triggered by anybody who has that energy and there's been a separation of that Four of Swords, there was probably that imbalance in your connection with them or your dynamic with them, where one of you was very serious and the other one was very not. Overall, we have Three of Swords in reverse, beautiful, healing. Yep, with the Eight of Swords in reverse, breaking out of that imprisonment and letting that Knight of Wands energy within you kind of out, letting it have fun, letting it be free. I keep getting this projection onto other people. I keep getting that with you guys here. Oh, speaking of hearts, it was like, oh, I feel like I just felt energy just come right in through my back and like out the front of my chest, like, oh, holy shit. Some of you guys might have been experiencing that, like being speared through the chest. I know that sounds very strange, but that's literally what I just felt here. This projecting that shit onto other people, where it's like, you haven't been able to be free. You come across people who are free. A part of you's attracted to them because that's what you wanted for yourself, right? But then you get so fucking triggered by them. I'm also getting this labeling other people as irresponsible, or labeling other people as reckless or impulsive, but really they're just living free. And it's pissed you off because you haven't been able to do that for yourself. But again, recovery is a big part of that here. And the recovery is whatever's gunking up your own emotions, your own heart space. That's all you. That's all you and your personal stuff, and you already know what that would be for you. I'm just here to kind of point you in the right direction. So there's you in the difficult part. I'm curious about this. I want to see where we're going here, because this is like really nice and beautiful. Oh my god. Ow. Ah. I'm going to clarify that as a set, actually. Let's do that as a set. Seeing if anything calls out to me. Do Cosmic Tarot for this one. Angel of Love with the 7th chakra. I keep saying system. 7th chakra card, please. Five of Wands in reverse, beautiful. Letting go of the fight, letting go of the struggle. The struggle. All the struggle we were talking about. Letting go of conflicts you've also been having with other people because you've been so triggered. Letting go of also what's been causing the struggle with your emotions and your heart space. There's also a letting go of ego battle here, is what I'm getting. Again, I feel like the ego battle is really just you being triggered by people embodying parts of themselves that you have wanted to embody or that you have been neglecting to embody, that's been repressed. Remember, Mars opposing Saturn is also about bringing up anything you've been repressed about. Talking about angel of love with the 7th chakra. Three of Wands, okay. There's a 2 Wands at play there, which is about a crossroads. It's about making decisions, taking a new path if you need to. 3 of Wands, I'm getting a lot of optimistic energy, actually. A lot of optimistic energy. Sometimes people see it as a stagnant energy, like you're standing still, and I feel a little bit of that, but it doesn't feel stuck. It just feels like you're present. Thank you. It just feels like you're present. Is that what I think it is? Oh, interesting. We have Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Yeah, I don't feel stuck though. I feel like you're just present. Yeah, it feels like you're present. So as you're like working through this emotional stuff and it's falling away and that Knight of Wands energy within you is like starting to come alive, you're starting to feel it out. It's like, it feels a little bit slow, and that's okay. As things slowly start to fall away, that wheel is going to slowly start to turn over. I just feel a lot of optimistic energy. Interesting. An Emperor just arrived. That's almost how I want to say it. An Emperor just arrived on the scene. What do we have here? Oh, okay. So we have 7 of Cups in reverse with the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and then we have an Emperor. I feel like, again, things are starting to make sense to you as you're letting this Knight of Wands energy come up within you and owning that slowly but surely. You're letting go of inner struggles. You're letting go of triggers. You're letting go of judgment as well. I don't know why judgment's coming. Oh, because you judged other Knight of Wands energies. That's why. And things are starting to become clear of what has been imbalanced or what has been needing to be rectified, what's been needing attention here when it comes to Emperor energy. Now, when I say that, it's in regards to masculine energy. Like I said, it's almost like some of you have been really in a lot more masculine energy than feminine energy. Almost like you've been letting Emperor-like energy in your energy field too much, or owning it too much, to the point where you've been off balance, right? Because there has been a neglecting of your own emotions or your heart, or just something that needs to be addressed there so you can unleash that Knight of Wands energy within yourself, that like living free energy. Yeah, it's almost like you've been living with too much restriction. You've been living with too much militant, thank you, that's what it is. You've been living with too much militant energy. Even if you've been getting that from other people, or people have been exerting that onto you, or you've been owning that yourself, you've been living with too much Emperor militant energy. Overall, we've got the Moon in reverse, beautiful, so clarity. We have 2 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, well, Pentacles. And we have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, beautiful, with the 8 of Cups. So again, putting things behind you, right? What has become clear? There's been a holding on with that 4 of Pentacles. That 9 of Pentacles in reverse speaks of insecurity or like a lack mindset. There's been a lot of holding on from a sense of insecurity or a sense of not being safe. And it's like you've been repressing that Knight of Wands energy because you haven't been feeling safe enough to live free, to live a little wild, to live a little passionately. You've been holding yourself back here. The 2 of Pentacles, I feel like, also is implying this sense of maintaining. The 2 of Pentacles to me is a maintenance card. It's like, I can juggle. I will juggle this, I will juggle, and I will stand here, and I'm not going to let these balls drop. Nope, not for anything. I'm going to maintain this shit. I'm going to maintain this shit. I'm going to maintain this shit. And what have you been maintaining? You've been maintaining this sense of false power, to be honest with you. It's like this sense of false security or false power with the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. There's also a 5 of Pentacles here. which is scarcity and fear and that kind of mindset. And it's been keeping this like living free energy at bay. You haven't been living with risk. You haven't been living with the risk that comes with just enjoying life and following things that kind of make you feel alive and passionate. You've been living a little too risk-free, and you're leaving that behind with the Eight of Cups. Nice. Really nice. Again, there's been some emotional stuff that's been keeping you in this sense of insecurity or fear. That's up for you to figure out, because it is going to be different for you where all of that comes from. But that's essentially what's going on here. And it's like, again, this is just an opportunity to break that. So getting out of militant energy, getting, you know, more into feminine energy, and doing whatever emotional recovery you have to do so you can live free. So you can live free and wild and fun and passionate. All right, let's get an advice card. And then I'm going to do that second spread real quick. They wanted me to do a past life spread, which I think is very interesting. They're like, okay. I just follow instructions. I'll do it. What do I want to do for advice? Need more oracle decks. I'm going to do the Gaia Oracle. Gaia, not Guy. Gaia, the Gaia Oracle. Can you tell how many decks I have? I need a better system of organizing my decks. I don't like this system right now. So let's go and do it. Any advice? Oh, I used to do elemental advice, didn't I? I'm glad I just remembered that. Okay. We're going to do elemental advice then. Elemental advice. Fire, air, water, earth. We're going to do water first. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Advice for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Advice for my water signs as it pertains to this spread. Advice for my water signs as it pertains to this spread. You guys get two. Oh, water signs. Lost love, surrender, healing, and release and perception beyond the veil of illusion, which is basically just seeing reality for what it is, not letting fear get you stuck here. You guys are actually afraid of just losing. It's honestly what I'm getting here. Like, if you live this way, if you live in that free, wild child, living free, passionate about life, just being alive, just being myself and not thinking twice about it energy, and following what feels good, it's like, it's almost like you think it's going to lead you to disaster, or it's going to lead you down the road of heartbreak. And that's probably because of some past experience where you were just being you and you felt like you got heartbroken. We've all been there, but it is just a shift in your own perception and mindset. Okay. I am going to read these to you guys as well, but that's honestly just what I'm getting with these cards. And you might need to do some healing about whatever happened to you in the past that's making you feel this way about the present, right? So you can really see things in better context. So you can see things in a better context, a more realistic context, not like reliving history over and over. If you're thinking you're going to relive history over and over, then that means you're just stuck in a cycle, right? No judgment. We've all been there. Myself included. I end up there a lot sometimes myself, but that's really what it is. It's like, if you think you're going to relive something, then you're going to repeat a cycle. I mean, it's just how energy works, right? So shifting your perception by getting a little bit more realistic context on things, and also just accepting and going through like those emotions of what you've been through already, right? That's affecting your present. But let's read these. It's normal to feel sad when a relationship or friendship ends, yet this healing card has shown up in your reading today to let you know that everything truly does happen for a reason. Trust and accept that higher forces are at work in your life at the moment, and that your soul is guiding you towards ever greater love. You may not feel it at present, but you're surrounded by an ocean of love. You are loved more than you will ever know. There is little point in searching for answers. Accept things as they are. The truth is what it is, yet it is also what was and will be. There are no mistakes. Everything you experience has a purpose and is meaningful. All is a part of a higher plan for your life. Every day is a new beginning, yet nothing is ever lost, for life is an endless cycle. What goes around comes around. Love is eternal. It's funny I was talking about cycles and that came up in that. All right, then I'm going to read perception. The lady featured on this card looks directly at the observer. She radiates love and wisdom, yet stands firmly in her own truth. From this standpoint, she is able to see beyond the veil of illusion. She has shown up in your reading today to reflect these same qualities within you. You are advised to stand your ground with regards to a particular person or issue. Stand within your own truth and don't be swayed by another's beliefs, opinions, or views. If it doesn't feel right, then it's not. Trust your intuition and gut feeling on this one. Be true to yourself. You can respect another's views without having to change your value system. That's exactly what I said for most of the astrology of what's been going on, right? If it doesn't align with your values, then don't take it on. If it doesn't align with your values, then don't take it on. I keep getting this is way more for water signs. This is way more about your past and letting your past affect you. Your past doesn't have to be the rest of your life, right? Your past doesn't have to be your present and future. Your present is your present and your future is your future, and they are different. They are different. You don't have to keep taking on that same story over and over and over and over. I actually feel like this perception card is about like you battling the old you. Like you battling the you that was hurt in whatever that event was. And you don't have to take on that story. You just simply don't have to. It's not your story anymore. You're a different version of yourself. It's a different day. It's a different month. It's a different year for some of you. And in a month or a year, you're going to be another different version of yourself with a whole other truth. Your truth will change as time goes on, but you don't have to keep taking on the old you. Keep moving forward. Let it go. Keep moving forward and let it go. Okay. Fire, air, earth. Fire. We're going to do fire. Interesting, water and fire were first. Come out with that fire signs for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I'm actually hearing the word compassion. Compassion. Have you been lacking compassion, fire signs? I feel a frustration there. Aries, Leo, Sag. Can I get an advice card for Aries, Leo, Sag? Can I get an advice card for Aries, Leo, Sag, please? Ooh, Moonlight Goddess. Yep, repressed emotions. Mars and Leo, all that fire energy, opposing Saturn and Aquarius. Healing and reflection. Yeah, so fire signs, it's funny, I was feeling like a lack of compassion that's kind of needed to like come back up here. I was feeling a little bit of like frustration and irritation, and it's because something has been repressed here. And it's just coming up. It's just coming up to shed some light and some clarity on a situation, or even clarity on your own feelings, clarity of dynamics here. Just let it come up and own it. Just own it. Okay, just own it. Some people might be presenting you with some repressed emotions. I just feel like that Mars Leo is really going to be aggravating my fire sign. So if some shit comes up, and just kind of ride the roller coaster out. But it's going to bring some clarity that's very much needed, okay? So let's go ahead and read that off. Number 2. The Moonlight Angel depicted on this card is here to reflect back to you the repressed emotions you have stored inside you. She is here to heal you through your dreams, but in order for this healing to take place, you must pour out your heart and express how you truly feel. To do this for yourself and for others. Remember, all that you repress not only affects you, it also affects those around you, especially those you love the most. It is safe to acknowledge your feelings. It is all right to cry. Just surrender and let it all go. You are surrounded by love and the healing energies of the goddess. You are eternally loved and eternally protected. In the coming month, you will reflect on the past. You will give thanks and let go of old hurts and disappointments. Only the loving memories you will keep inside your heart. Then once the chambers of your heart are yet again full of light, a new season begins, a new journey, a new joy, a new passion. That's beautiful, fire signs. That's beautiful. So like I said, it feels mostly anger, like anger. Anger is usually comes from pain. usually comes from some sort of grief that's been unexpressed, or just been poked at. So let the anger come up, let the frustration come up, and you are going to feel some emotions. So just write it out. Just let it happen. Let it all out, you know, and people who love you and know you will understand and they will just accept you. And people who don't, well, that's their problem. Right? If there's anybody around you who's not accepting you as you're going through a growth process or you're going through a purging, that's their problem. You have to take care of your emotions. You have to take care of your emotions, right? You can't be practical all the time. You can't be serious all the time. You can't be polite all the time. And fire signs, I know you guys know that too, but just let it happen. It's also going to bring, I keep getting, it's going to bring a lot of clarity for you and other people. So just do it. It almost feels like it's going to lead to this feeling of secrets coming out. Some people might accuse you of keeping secrets. You're human. You're human. Okay. Air and earth. Who's going next? Air or earth? Well, you guys are bad and let it out. Earth. I just heard rocky. 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 Not like the movie. Advice from my earth signs. Oh, ow. Oh, my heart. Ow. I'm getting a huge jab in my heart space with you, earth sign. And I keep earth signs. I could speak. My tongue's too big or something. Keep getting rocky. I'm feeling a huge jab in my heart. Something's very, very hard to accept. Something is very, very, very hard to feel. Yeah, something's just very hard to accept. Something's very hard to feel. Oh, no wonder. Got the temptress. Seduction, deceit, a broken promise. And look at her chest. Ow! Oh, I feel like right here. Oh. Yeah, I mean, earth signs, like, I don't, like, I mean, we can go there, but it's kind of clear, and that's what I was feeling. It's like something's really rocky, and something is so fucking hard to accept, and really, really hard to feel. I think some of you guys might be realizing that, not realizing, some of you guys are going to go through this emotion of feeling betrayed. Now, whether someone's actually done that to you, or led you to believe something that just wasn't true, or you did that, some of you might be you did that, intentionally or not, you know, it happens. It's hard to swallow, is what I keep getting. It's hard to swallow. Let's go ahead and read that one. Yeah, it feels Seven of Swords to me. It feels like a feeling of being betrayed. Being led, yeah, I keep getting being led to believe something that just wasn't true, intentionally or not. Intentionally or not, and it's just fucking hard to accept. You are being seduced with dazzling promises that will mostly not eventuate. Eventuate? Yeah. In effect, you are being deceived, enticed into accepting something that will cause you much difficulty and eventually lead only to disappointment. Don't be seduced by the glitz and glamour or by the holy and benevolent facade. Things are not what they seem. Incredible promises are simply that, incredible. Observe the image on this card. The temptress entices with her sensuous beauty and exotic surrounding, yet just behind her is all the seeing eye of truth. It is staring you in the face all along. Take a few steps back, look at things from an objective and balanced perspective, and the real picture and hidden agenda will emerge. I'm also gonna pull cards on this. I think you just really wanted something to just be right or just be for you. Yeah, it's like you just really wanted something to be for you. Whether it's a relationship or a job or a way of life, and it's just realizing and needing to accept that it just wasn't for you. There's such a difficulty with this. I feel like some of you might have built your identity on whatever it is, or attached your sense of identity to whatever it is. Again, a relationship, a job, a way of life, something like that. But you really, really, really fucking wanted it. But it's just not for you. And of course, this is not going to be for every earth sign on the planet. But this is just what's coming up for my earth signs. And it's okay. Okay, I think we've all been through that. You know, I'm gonna get another card for my earth signs. Let me get one more. Can I get another card for my earth signs, please? Well, that's too many. Can I get one more, please? Just one card. Thank you. Yin Yang ceremony. Ceremony? I swear I saw the word ceremony. Creating harmony through balance. I feel acceptance with this. I feel like this is a place of acceptance. So earth signs might be a little tough for you, and I totally get it, because you know what? Pluto is in Capricorn. Uranus is in Taurus, while the moon is in Capricorn, right? So it's like my earth signs are getting hit with the moon, Uranus, and Pluto. Those are very hard energies to be experiencing and feeling on an elemental level, like when it's in your elements here. I keep getting identity. I gotta be honest. I keep getting the sense of identity that's attached to this earth signs. So whatever it is that you're realizing that's not for you, or was not meant for you, or it's just not part of who you are, there is this difficulty in accepting that, and I totally get it. But like, to let that go and find acceptance, it's almost like accepting your true self is going to be a big part of it, or accepting that your identity cannot be attached to things. It can't be attached to people, right? Or like ways of being. It's like it comes from this sense of needing to attach. And I get it, because you guys are also earth signs. You are about the physical realm, something that is tangible, right? The tangible appeals to earth signs. Your identity can't be tangible, because it's identity. It's a concept. It's not tangible in and of itself, in its natural state. It's not tangible. And I think there's going to be a need to understand that and accept that, and just let go of what your identity is, if you've attached anything tangible to it, to get to that place of balance. And I'm going to read Yin Yang for you guys. There is currently disharmony in some area of your life due to your refusal to accept certain aspects of your personality. I think that just kind of sums up what I just said. Nothing about you is bad. Every trait or quality you possess serves a worthwhile purpose. Moreover, any trait or quality that you think you lack, you actually have. Make a list of all the things about you that you don't like. Then think about how each of these things serves you and others in some way. Next, make a list of all the things you do like about yourself. It is natural to believe that your positive qualities undoubtedly serve both you and others. However, every perceived positive, there is also a negative. Now think about the negative aspects of your perceived positives. This process takes a bit of time and requires an open heart and mind. It is definitely a worthwhile exercise, for in the end you will hopefully see that nothing is actually good or bad. Every aspect of you serves both you and others. Owning, accepting, and loving what is, without wanting to change it, will lead you to experience a happier, healthier, and more harmonious life. I keep getting it's about your identity. Keep getting it's about that. Okay. Oh, that was a little rough. All right, air. You guys are next. Okay. Air signs. My air signs. My air signs. Any advice for my Geminis, Libras, Aquarians? Any advice for my Geminis, Libras, and Aquarians? Whoa. So you guys got two. It's probably due to Gemini. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I know. Ooh, Winter's End. Regeneration, rebirth, positive outcome. That feels like a major death process kind of energy, and it's a beautiful illustration. And peace. Wow, yeah. Dissolving unwanted or disturbing thoughts. Look at the air signs. Air signs coming out in a really, really awesome way. coming out in this place of victory, in this place of peace, this place of blissed out, clear-headed, I want to say clear-headed energy here. You've shed your old skin. You've been shedding some old pain and some old shit that's been mucking up your energy, been mucking up your head. Yeah, I keep getting a lot about the head, actually. Like messing with your mind. There's been some old stuff that's been messing with your mind. Old aspects of yourself, old fears, old wounds, old patterns. It feels kind of toxic. I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little toxic. But you've been purging that, you've been getting rid of that. Continue to do so, and you're just gonna come out with a new sense of yourself and a new sense of clarity. This is a classic transformation, transmutation, death, rebirth energy. Classic for my air sign. So really nice. So keep going with that. All right, guys. So that's it for the first spread. They still want me to do a second spread, which I think is kind of a lot, but that's fine. I'll do it. They wanted me to use the past life deck. They said very specifically, I need to do this, so I'm just doing it. Now, before I get into this, I want you guys to know when I'm using this past life deck, it is super general, so I mostly read these intuitively. And whatever comes up doesn't have to be for a past life. It has a large potential to be, but it can also just be about your past, okay? And I think there's a group of you that really need to go there, and it might be because of some emotional stuff that you guys have had a hard time breaking through too, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. It's weird. It's flashing me back to when I, on Patreon for a while, I was doing past life readings. Well, more like channelings. It was more like channelings. I literally would do like a lottery system every time I did it, where I did like, I think 3 to 5 people. Yeah, I would do like 3 to 5 people, and I would just channel. I would get hits on their past lives, and I would see things, and I'd hear things, and I would just tell them, and we'd talk about it and how it was affecting their current life. And it was really fun. It was taxing though. They wanted me to do it for a little while, and then they made me stop. My guides made me stop. I don't know why I feel the need to tell you that, because I don't do them anymore. I guess I'm just talking. All right, so let's do this. This definitely feels like this is for a group of people, and I think I said this already. You've been having some major struggle in letting some things go, or being able to fully digest or face some things about the past in your current life, or there's been some sort of dynamics at play or energies at play that haven't made sense to your present life that have to do with the past life. So we're just going there. I'm getting some astral stuff. How am I going to explain this? Some of you have the ability, for the group of people who are in this, God, I want to label this as a very specific kind of reading. It's like you've been tapping into, I don't know how to say this. You've been tapping into timelines. I'm getting a group of you that's been tapping into, a very small group of you that's been tapping into like timeline energies. And it's like, I think you're taking too much of it on, or you're taking too much of it with you. I just feel a lot of that going on, like literally astrally tapping into other timelines. Just have to say that, because that's just what I'm getting. Let's see what we get here. Any messages for those who need to receive them today? Spirituality and religion. Okay. It's funny because I was getting a lot of obsession of death. That was the feeling I was getting, and I almost didn't even want to say it out loud, and then this card came up, and it's like, oh, well, here we go. There's this fascination and draw to the dead for some of you, and I just have to just say what it is that I'm getting here. I got the chills all over. There's a reason for that. Follow that pull, and I think you're going to be very surprised to find what you're capable of doing. I'm not saying do crazy shit. I'm not saying that, but like some of you might realize you're a medium. right? Some of you might realize that you can bring peace and healing to those who are dying, like a death doula. It's like there's some sort of draw to the dead or the dying or the sick. Some of you might realize or find out that you are a healer of sorts. Okay, that's kind of the realm of stuff that I'm getting. Oh, my heart. That's what I'm getting pulled to. It might even start to shift your belief systems of what you believed to be true about death, or what you believe to be true about the spirit realm or spirituality, esoteric, again, whatever, spirit, whatever word you want to, God, whatever word you want to use, okay? But that's what I'm getting. There's a draw there, and for some of you, it is because in a past life, you were a healer of sorts in a very specific realm of the sick or the dying or the dead. Interesting. So Atlantis is coming up. Now, again, a lot of these are very general. So when Atlantis comes up, you might have ties to Atlantis or Lemuria. You might have ties to also some galactic energies as well. I think that's the only reason this is coming up here. Some of you guys might start remembering, for those where there's a past life connection, remembering who you really are or who you have been, okay? Especially with spirituality and religion with Atlantis, okay? I remember I had a crazy channeling about Atlantis. I forget when that was. I think it was over a year ago. It's somewhere on YouTube, so go ahead and like find that if you guys are curious. Trees. I love it. Trees. For those of you who are getting into like healing arts, specifically around the dead or the dying or the very sick, not just people who are stressed out, not just people who are like, my chakras are blocked, like not just that. I mean like the very sick. The very, very sick, or the very much the dying or the dead. You might also start to get drawn to nature a lot more, or nature spirits. We're going there, or tree people, that sort of thing. You might be finding that you need to commune more with the earth, especially for those of you who are working with the dead. I want to say those of you who are really working with the dead. Some of you might even be getting into like plant medicine or natural remedies for those who are sick. I just keep getting this transition energy that you guys can be working with, like transitioning like those who are on their way out in the physical and how that affects the earth and the whole process of that. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? It's like there is a natural cycle. Oh, this is like such an interesting reading. There's a natural cycle to death and decay when it comes to the physical plane. It's a very natural cycle. I know it's not talked about. You know what's a really great book? Sorry, I'm a little ADD right now. There's a book called What We Leave Behind. Do I have it handy? I don't know if I have it handy. It might be in my closet, but I don't want to get up. There's a book called What We Leave Behind. It's super, super fascinating. I started reading it just because I'm into like environmental science and earth science and things like that, and environmental issues. It's literally just about death, decay, and decomposition. It's a very big part of nature, but it's such a neglected part of nature, and people just kind of write it off as gross, but it's very much needed. And so it's like, some of you might be getting a little closer to that topic when it comes to your healing art, or when it comes to maybe incorporating that into your life a little bit more, to have more of like natural cycles as part of your day-to-day life, okay? But I'm getting that sort of energy. I'm getting that sort of energy. Some of you might start to get into like environmental issues as well, because you're getting into this healing art when it comes to death, decay, the dying, the sickly, that sort of thing. I'm just getting a lot of transmutation. I'm getting a lot of transmutation energy. We'll call this reading spiritual cosmic reading or something like that. See what else we got here. Oh, that's it on the bottom. Are you surprised? Oh my god, angels, and then we have farm and health. Can't even make this shit up. Angels, farm, and health. Yeah, some of you guys are seriously being led to plant medicine, natural remedies, the transmutation of energies, the natural cycle of death, decay, and rebirth. In all contexts of what that means when it comes to helping people with those transitional energies, when it comes to the earth and helping the earth with those transitional energies. I keep getting a lot of you, it's going to come down to healing arts. It's going to shift your spirituality. It might, for some of you, it's just adding that more natural kind of part of your of that aspect of life into your life. Like you know, that could be, maybe you're going to start a compost. You know what I mean? It could even be something as minor as that. But wow. Wow. That's crazy. You're totally being guided to do it too. Totally being guided to do it too. This is going to be a reading for a very small group of people. But this is no joke. This shit is no joke. Follow it. You're going to be naturally good at it. You're going to be naturally good at it. I don't think I have anything more to say. I think it's pretty clear cut. So, yeah, do it. We all need it. We all need that. Yeah, we all need that. Some of you might just do it for animals too. That's also what I'm getting. Some of you just might do it for animals as well. Yeah, death, decay, decomposition, transitional death to rebirth sort of energies. It's like, it's really nice, actually. It's like, sorry, the nerd in me is getting worked up. Decay is such a vital part of the earth cycles. It's like baffling. It's baffling how important it is. And it's so crazy to see that coming up in this. And again, I'm also getting those of you might be dealing with those who are like very, very sick. Again, not just people who are stressed out or need a Reiki session. I'm talking like people who are very, very ill, okay? People who need massive healing, physical healing. But I like this. This is so earthy and nice and just feels good. I'm getting excited for those who are getting into this stuff. But anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to go now. I hope you guys have a really good weekend. And I hope you guys got a lot out of these readings and out of the astrology. And I'll see you soon. Have a good night, guys. Namaste.